peace, stability, and progress of Rivers State, I would just like to add one set of people. The stakeholders that we have not mentioned their name here includes the past governors of the state. We wish to also call them to join President Tinubu in ensuring peace in Rivers State. There are other statesmen, the likes of revered former governor peterobi, former governor Rotimi Amechi, former governor Barrister Nyesom Wike, haven't rose to the point of leading the state at one point or the other. None of them led it for less than 8 years. They should please come together for the purpose of the peace of the state and intervene. There can still be peaceful friendliness even after court judgment. This is the time for them to come on board as leaders, as fathers of the state, by making sure that there is peace among the stakeholders. Misunderstanding among them will only sacrifice the peace of the common man in the state and to the uniqueness of Rivers State, thereby affecting even Nigeria as a nation. We want peace in every part of the nation, so therefore we are using this opportunity to call on all other stakeholders to join this peace call by the National Civil Society Council for the purpose of having peace in Rivers State. Thank you so much.
Test of the World Press Conference of the National Civil Society Council of Nigeria on the protracted political crisis in Rivers State. Call for reconciliation, peace, civility, and rule of law. We welcome our media partner to this very important press conference. We appreciate your commitment and partnership. We also welcome all heads and members of affiliate civil society and non-governmental organizations here present. Thank you for your courage and resolve to stand as a voice and conscience of the masses. We all know the strategic place Rivers State occupies in the economic and political life of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We acknowledge non-knowledgeable Nigeria will deny or take for granted that crisis in governance of Rivers State and any form of public unrest in that oil-rich state would naturally and automatically snowball into a national disaster. It is against this background that the Civil Society Council can no longer fold their hands, looking away in pretense, as if all were well in Rivers State. The bitter truth is that recent development in Rivers is capable of plunging the state into full-blown crisis that may result to huge loss of lives and properties, ending in a state of emergency being declared, which will be highly unproductive and will set the state decade back in development, while equally negatively impacting on the economic growth of the nation. The leadership of the National Civil Society Council of Nigeria had to meet over the situation in Rivers, critically examine the root and proximal cause of the ongoing escalating conflict in the government, and carefully studying the recent Supreme Court judgment, nullify the local government council election, and the presentation of state budget to House of Assembly under the Speaker, Right Honorable Martin Shike Ameule. We must first make it loud and clear that the Civil Society Council is not interested in the underlying politics playing out in Rivers State. Neither are we siding any party to the conflict. Our sole concern is the preservation of sanity, peaceful coexistence, sound democratic culture, and adherence to the rule of law in the state, as in all other states in Nigeria. Virtually all the parties involved in the ongoing controversies in Rivers State have instituted one case or the other in various courts of competent jurisdiction, implying that they all believe in the power of the judiciary and authority of the citadel of justice in resolving all disputes. We have watched all the parties celebrating different judgments that favor them, and seen them vehemently demanding that the other party obey such judgment because it was in their favor. The Civil Society Council have keenly followed almost all these court cases, observing how they have been swinging like pendulum in favor of both parties at different points in time. Hence, one would naturally expect total compliance to the recent ruling of the apex appellate court of the country, which is the Supreme Court of Justice, nullifying the recently conducted local government area election by the State Independent Electoral Commission, which also upheld the legitimacy of the 27-man House of Assembly, led by Right Honorable Martin Chike Ameule as Speaker, and ordering His Excellency Sir Simeola Fubara, Governor of Rivers State, to represent the state budget and list of nominees of commissioner in the state cabinet to the Assembly. Our critical observation: 1. The Council observed that both parties have resorted to legal tissue over the matter, and all believe the case would ultimately end in their favor. 2. We equally observe that each of the parties have enjoyed favorable judgment at one point or the other, which they accepted wholeheartedly and demanded the other party to fully obey and comply with. 3. The Council observed with dismay that when a judgment is against same party that previously celebrated the one in their favor, they begin to shout foul, making all sorts of contentious statements that may lead to breakdown of law and order in the state, which is highly uncivil and unpatriotic. We further observe that Governor Simeola Fubara is gradually deviating from his initial laudable position over the Supreme Court judgment, whereby in his state broadcast on March 2nd, 2025, he openly pledged to comply with and implement the Supreme Court directive, notwithstanding personal opinion on the matter. The Council perceived desperate and selfish tendency setting in on the part of the governor supporters, who are now seen making contentious and inflammatory remarks, such as the Supreme Court ruling does not reflect the will of the people of Rivers State, and we cannot be bound by an unjust decision. Such could fuel unrest, disrespect for judicial decision, which would destabilize the peace and governance of Rivers State. We observe recklessness and lawlessness in statements credited to both the Ijaw Youth Council, the Ijaw National Congress, and some notable ex-Niger Delta agitators and leaders, like Asari Dokubo and others, wherein threats were issues that Rivers State will be made ungovernable if Governor Simeola Fubara is impeached. For us, this is preemptive and based on absolute assumption. Hence, choice of language should be guided in addressing issues of this sensitive nature. All the above statement, observation, put Governor Simeola Fubara on negative spotlight in terms of democratic governance and rule of law. No doubt he enjoys sympathy of good numbers of Nigeria. However, he must be seen playing his part as law-abiding citizen, while allowing other party to expose their ulterior motive for all Nigeria to see and react. The people of Rivers and Nigeria are not foolish. We are all watching and will resist any illegality or unwarranted attempt to perpetuate any unlawful and unconstitutional agenda in Rivers. We must not accept or encourage a situation whereby people merely celebrate court ruling only when in their favor and align with desired interests. We must learn to accept legal defeats in good faith when they happen, while hoping for day of victory ahead. Life is full of up and down. Moment and temporary step back do not necessarily mean that end of the road or life. Like the former president Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, who asserts that no ambition is worth the blood or life of any individual. Peace, stability, and productivity of river people must not be sacrificed at the altar of any political agenda, no matter the side of the coin. It can never be too late for peace and reconciliation in any crisis. Even Russia and Ukraine, that have been in full-blown war, are today sung for peace and amicable resolution after loss of thousands of precious lives and valuable properties. Our conclusion: the National Civil Society Council of Nigeria is totally against any utterances and acts that could undermine the rule of law, peace, stability, and democratic integrity of Rivers State, knowing fully well that statements that challenge the judicial system, incite violence, sow division, and undermine law enforcement amount to treasonable felony. The Civil Society Council actually condemned the war postures of our dear brother Ijaw Youth Council, Ijaw National Congress, and some notable ex-Niger Delta agitators like Asari Dokubo, calling on them to tow legal options and lawful means of driving home their dissatisfaction with the Supreme Court judgment. We call on Governor Similaye Fubara not to be preemptive of any plot of impeachment, but to rather pursue democratic tenets by representing the State Appropriation and State Commissioner nominee to the legally recognized House of Assembly in fulfillment of the Supreme Court decision, while seeking reconciliation on both factions of the House. He is the governor, and all factions of the House of Assembly are his people and subject to his leadership. We equally call upon all members of the Rivers House of Assembly to extend their cooperation with the executive branch under Governor Similaye Fubara without any hidden agenda. By working together harmoniously, we believe that the government of Rivers State can address the pressing issue facing the state and serve the best interests of Rivers people and Nigeria in general. We repeat, it is never too late for peace, and no extent of crisis is beyond reconciliation. We urge the 27-man House of Assembly to reconcile with the 4-man faction and for all to strictly abide by constitutional provision in all their decisions and avoiding unwarranted, extreme, and unsubstantiated impeachment adventure. Rather, let the House set aside all grievances of the past and work harmoniously. We use this medium to humbly and passionately appeal to our dear President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, to once again wade into the river crisis. We are aware of the past frustrated attempts made by him. However, as a large-hearted father and pillar of democracy of modern Nigeria, we enjoy Mr. President never to grow weary in seeking peace, unity, and progress of any state or constituencies under the administration and oversight. Rivers cannot be allowed to plunge into anarchy, as the consequences will be too expensive for the entire nation. Finally, we call on all the people of Rivers State to explore option of peace and unity, standing firmly on the rule of law and respecting every judgment made by all courts of competent jurisdiction, especially the most recent one by the Supreme Court of Justice over Rivers crisis. We sincerely sympathize with the state and the people in this current travail and surely believe this will soon pass away. as every problem in life has an expired date.